Revelation 2:29. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. Jeremiah 23, starting at verse 35. This is what each one says to his neighbor, and each one to his brother. What has Yahweh answered, and what has Yahweh spoken? But the message of Yahweh you no longer remember, for every man's message is his own word. For you have changed the words of the living Elohim, Yahweh of hosts, our Elohim. This is what you say to the prophet. What has Yahweh answered you, and what has Yahweh spoken? But since you say the message of Yahweh, therefore thus said Yahweh, because you say this word, the message of Yahweh, and I have sent to you, saying, do not say the message of Yahweh. Therefore see, I shall utterly forget you, and cast you away from my presence, along with the city that I gave you and your fathers, and I shall put an everlasting reproach on you, and an everlasting shame that is not forgotten. Jeremiah 23, starting at verse 15. Therefore thus said Yahweh of hosts concerning the prophets, see, I am making them eat wormwood, and shall make them drink poison water, for defilement has gone out into all the land from the prophets of Jerusalem. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, do not listen to the words of the prophets who prophesy to you. They lead you astray. They speak a vision of their own heart, not from the mouth of Yahweh. They keep on saying to those who despise me, Yahweh has said, you shall have peace. And to all who walk according to the stubbornness of their own heart, they say, no evil comes upon you. For who has stood in the counsel of Yahweh, and has seen and heard his word? Who has listened to his word and obeyed it? See, a storm of Yahweh shall go forth in rage, a whirling storm. It whirls on the head of the wrong. The displeasure of Yahweh shall not turn back until he has done and established the purposes of his heart. In the latter days you shall understand it perfectly. Jeremiah 14, starting at verse 14. Then Yahweh said to me, the prophets prophesy falsehood in my name. I have not sent them, nor commanded them, nor spoken to them. They are prophesying to you a false vision, worthless divination, and the deceit of their own heart. Therefore thus said Yahweh concerning the prophets who prophesy in my name, whom I did not send, and who say, sword and scarcity of food shall not be in this land. By sword and scarcity of food, those prophets shall be consumed. Ezekiel 13, starting at verse 8. Therefore thus said Master Yahweh, because you have spoken a falsehood and seen lies, therefore see, I am against you, declares Master Yahweh. My hand shall be against the prophets who see falsehood and who divine lies. They shall not be in the counsel of my people, nor be written in the record of the house of Israel. They shall not enter into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am Master Yahweh. Because they have led my people astray, saying, peace, when there is no peace. When one is building a wall, see, they are coating it with whitewash. Say to those who coat it with whitewash, it shall fall. There shall be flooding rain, and you, O great hailstones, fall, and a stormy wind breaks it down. And see, the wall shall fall. Shall you not be asked, where is the coating with which you coated it? Therefore thus said Master Yahweh, I shall break down with a stormy wind in my wrath, and a flooding rain in my displeasure, and great hailstones in wrath to consume, and I shall throw down the wall you have coated with whitewash. bring it down to the ground, and its foundation shall be uncovered, and it shall fall, and you shall be consumed in the midst of it, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. So I shall complete my wrath on the wall and on those coating it with whitewash, and say to you, the wall is no more, nor those whitewashing it. The prophets of Israel who are prophesying concerning Jerusalem, and who are seeing visions of peace for her when there is no peace, declares Master Yahweh. 2 Timothy 4, verses 3 through 4. For there shall be a time when they shall not hear sound teaching, but according to their own desires they shall heap up for themselves teachers tickling the ear, and they shall indeed turn their ears away from the truth and be turned aside to myths. This has been going on for a very long time now. Open your eyes. Deuteronomy 18, starting at verse 20. But the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name which I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other mighty ones, other gods, even that prophet shall die. And when you say in your heart, how do we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When the prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, and the word is not, or comes not, that is the word which Yahweh has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him. Matthew 7, verse 15. But beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. Ezekiel 22, starting at verse 23. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, say to her, you are a land that is not cleansed or rained upon in the day of displeasure. There is a conspiracy of her prophets in her midst, like a roaring lion tearing the prey. They have devoured life. They have taken wealth and precious matters. They have made many widows in her midst. Her priests have done violence to my teaching, and they profane my set-apart matters. They have not distinguished between the set-apart and profane, nor have they made known the difference between the unclean and the clean. And they have hidden their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned in their midst. Her leaders in her midst are like wolves tearing the prey, to shed blood, to destroy lives, to get greedy gain, and her prophets have coated them with whitewash, seeing a false vision and of divining a lie for them, saying, Thus said the Master Yahweh, when Yahweh had not spoken. Matthew 24, verse 24. For false messiahs and false prophets shall arise, and they shall show great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen ones. Revelation 2, starting at verse 20. But I hold against you that you allow the woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess, to teach and lead my servants astray, to commit whoring, and to eat food offered to idols. And I gave her time to repent for her whoring, and she did not repent. See, I am throwing her into a sickbed, and those who commit adultery with her into great affliction, unless they repent of their works. And I shall slay her children with death, and all the assemblies shall know that I am the one searching the kidneys and hearts, and I shall give to each one of you according to your works.